Relationship advice. First story is titled, "She Cheated Because She Thought I Cheated." Just found out that my fiancée of 5 years cheated on me because she thought I cheated on her. The thing is, for last couple of months, I have been distant trying to take care of my cousin. Her parents took me in when my parents died and she was more of a sister to me than a cousin. She got sick, came back to our country and I offered to help her mother to take care of her. Last few weeks I had this gut feeling in my stomach that something was wrong. I knew I had been distant but I had tried talking to her and tried to make amends. She said okay, but she was not into it. It was accompanied by a number of the usual red flags. Being secretive of her phone, late nights, reduced intimacy, and other things. It was not until last week I snooped in her phone, that I found out about her affair with her co-worker. I confronted her immediately, denied at first, showed her the proof and broke down admitting to cheating. When I asked why, she said because I had been distant and thought I was cheating. That all the late nights and times I didn't answer the phone, she thought I was cheating, even despite assuring and showing her that I was not. She apologized and cried, telling me not to leave her and asking for another chance. That she loves me, and she was dumb and made a mistake. I left, and I have been staying with my cousin. She has been blowing up with texts and calls apologizing. I just feel numb about this. Now for the top advice. Phrase, because I thought you were cheating. Translation, I want to blame my actions on you because I can't face up to my failings. People who cheat always get paranoid their significant other is cheating, because they realize that they are capable of it, so their SO must be too. Projection at its finest. Sorry you are here mate, you deserve better. That's true fact. This is very true. Dated someone who cheated because he swore up and down that I was. I never did, and never even gave him a suspicion or reason to. Even after our circle of friends gave him a hard time about it, he tried telling everyone that I was doing it first so he wouldn't look as bad. People suck. What a crap show. To even think that cheating on your partner is an appropriate reaction to him maybe cheating, tells a lot about the character of your fiancé. What will she do next time, when you both hit a rough patch? When your job gets more demanding and you have to work longer than normal? What you should do now, is take care of yourself. If you had S with her, since she cheated, demand that she gets tested for STDs and get tested herself. That is the first thing you should do. Then ask yourself, if you think, that you will ever be able to trust her again. She never wanted to come clean. She not only decided to not give an F about you when she cheated, but made the same decision again and again when she had the chance to come clean. She doesn't regret that she cheated on you, she only regrets that she got caught. Is that the woman you want to spend your life with? Make that decision, and then act on it. Please don't start drinking alcohol because of this. You need a clear head now. Alcohol won't do you any good. You are worth so much more than to be treated this way. Good luck and stay strong. If she had suspected, she should have come and spoken to you first, rather than acting out on it. I'm afraid I don't buy that story, and the only conclusion I can come to is she regrets being caught. Also, the blame game and shifting everything is just a ploy. You need to ask, did she ever confront you for cheating? Did she ever ask you those questions? Instead she acted upon her suspicions. I do believe she knew what she was doing. Frustrated for getting caught out. I totally agree with you, she just cooked up a story accordingly. Now for the second story. Don't be me and live with regret, a man's letter to other men tempted to cheat. Jacob left his wife of almost a decade for a woman he had been romancing online. But the grass wasn't greener on the other side. He shares his story with you. I was 9 years ago. I was married, had been with my wife for 15 years. Then, I left her 2 months short of our 10-year wedding anniversary. We were parents to 2 beautiful children, who are in their late teens now, but were only 7 and 9 years old when I walked out. I traveled for work, stayed in a different hotel at least 3 nights a week. That's how I met Eve. We got to know each other over time. We became Facebook friends. We sent messages to each other all day and night. She was also married, also had 2 kids. We had so much in common, we soon fell in love. I felt like she got me. This was all during a very trying time in my marriage. I wasn't happy, I didn't look forward to going home. My wife had put on weight, we hardly ever spoke, she always looked so miserable. Little did I realize that I was the reason she was so down and depressed. I didn't pay her any attention. I took her for granted. I was too busy wishing my life was more exciting, being romanced online, spending all of my free time thinking how I could get out. I believed she didn't love me. I convinced myself she never cared about me or my needs and wants and wishes, that all I was a paycheck. She spent her free time taking care of us, our kids, making our suppers, doing our washing, making lunches, doing homework, projects, shuttling kids to sport, taking care of the pets they loved so much, their friends, and had a job of her own on top of it all. Every time she spoke to me, all I heard was nagging and whining. But she was actually begging for my attention, a weekend away, a date night, a movie, everything I ended up doing with Eve behind her back and after I left my family. We argued and fought because we felt unheard by the other. And yet that was all we actually had to do, listen to each other. I moved to another province with Eve. My now ex-wife got custody of our kids. I saw them every second weekend, the usual dad setup. New beginnings. Life was sweet. Eve and I had an amazing life. A connection I believed I never had with my ex. We had a large circle of friends. My family loved her. My kids liked her. But my ex could never bring herself to meet Eve. She felt betrayed. I hated her even more. She was childish. She was mean. She never cared about me or my happiness. I didn't care about my ex's feelings when I posted photos of us on Facebook. I had even a whole new life and it was fantastic. We were together for about 6 or 7 years but never married. We believed marriage was not our thing. I believed that after 15 years with my ex, we'd given it all we could and our time together was up. There was nothing we could do to salvage our relationship or marriage. Eve was my future. Eve was who I should have been with all along. Eventually, no matter how well we got along in the beginning, no matter how well I thought she got me, no matter how good the was, the honeymoon came to an end. Eve and I started snapping at each other. Little fights here and there. I had a moment of pure realization one night, at about 2 a.m. I realized that I missed the woman who created my first home and family. I realized that if I'd treated my ex-wife the way I'd treated Eve, used the hours I spent wooing Eve on my ex, she'd have bloomed. If I'd stopped being negative about her and our relationship to my family and friends, they wouldn't have been so negative to her and she wouldn't have pulled into herself and shied away. She became someone I convinced myself I no longer knew or got along with because I never gave her the time and affection and attention she craved and deserved. I thought I had, but when I got down and really thought about it, I never really did. I never really let her in. I had ended my marriage years before with the simple decision that she was no longer who, or what I wanted. And I'd convinced my family and friends the same, that she was no good for me. Regret sets in. But I was wrong. I missed the best years of my kids' lives. Missed being a family with them. I let their mother battle with raising them alone. Yes, I helped financially, but a man living outside his family has no real idea what the costs are on the single mother. While even I ate steaks on the weekends, my ex-wife was living on egg and toast. And do you know that she never complained? She never demanded more money out of me. She never stopped me from seeing the kids. Never said no if I changed plans on her at the last minute. She gave up her weekends so that my mother could spend time with her grandchildren. She left me to get on with my life with Eve, even though it must have killed her. Like any relationship, it had started out good, great in fact, but when it go bad, I decided to leave. I walked out and divorced a woman who, and I can only see this now, would have done anything for me. But I told myself she wouldn't or couldn't. My ex-wife stayed single for 8 years. She dated but never got involved. Her being single was also a kind of affirmation for me, that no one wanted her, that everything I'd decided she lacked, so did other men. She actually stayed single to focus on our children. Too late. And then came the day she met Craig. I never thought it would bug me in any way if she got a boyfriend. I thought it would be great. But I was very wrong. I felt hurt. I felt jealous. I even felt angry and maybe betrayed. She moved in with Craig, along with my kids. She set up a new home. A new family, with my kids. It was a very bitter pill to swallow. I finally understood how she'd felt all these years. And it felt rotten. I watched via Facebook and through conversations with our old mutual friends how Craig spoiled her and the kids. Their weekends were spent on the beach, he surfed with my son. They went hiking in the Berg. They went to Mauritius where he proposed on a kayak, and she said yes. They got married. My daughter was a bridesmaid. My son was a groomsman. Craig's parents and brother welcomed my ex-wife and children into their family. They told everyone how blessed they were to be gaining them as family. She glowed with happiness. She radiated love and none of it was for me. My heart felt like it had been ripped out. It should have been me. Don't be me. You think you will never be happy when you are in a rut. It is when you are there at your darkest that you need to grip down and try your hardest. Today I live alone and still only see my kids occasionally. They are big now and harbor anger towards me for leaving them and their mother. Who can blame them? Of all the things Eve was, she was never the mother of my children, my original true love. Now for the top comments. I've become pretty jaded about this kind of article. How much of this is only because his new relationship didn't work out? If it had, would he be writing, "Following my heart was the best decision I ever made" instead? Because the damage he did to his wife and kids is the same no matter whether his own ending is happy or not, but he seems to think this is only a cautionary tale because he ended up miserable and alone. That's a really good point. It doesn't change how crappy a person he is in the end because he's still careless and dangerous. It's just nice, in a way, to know he's suffering just as a mild form of justice. And they say there is no such thing as happy endings. There is a similar article from a woman's perspective. The title is, "I left the love of my life because I thought I could do better. Now I'm childless and alone at 42. These perspectives, however, usually only apply in hindsight. What about regret not cheating? What if you found out that your spouse was not faithful for over a decade and you turned down a lot of experiences for nothing? I still wouldn't regret not cheating. One of the things I'm the most proud of, during my 8 months of torture following D-Day until final separation, is that I remained true to my own values and I didn't deface myself by lowering myself to my ex-wayward spouse's level. Precisely. My soon-to-be ex-husband and I have been separated for over a year, and he's been living with his affair partner for all of that time. I still haven't slept with anyone else, because I meant my wedding vows. Until my final papers show up, I won't. It's for me, not for him. It's about staying true to my word. Girl. I am with you. I rage screamed in my soon-to-be ex-wife's face that I wasn't dating anyone out of respect for my own values, not for her, because she doesn't deserve it. I get you. I love being at peace with myself, that's true harmony. Now for the last story. My boyfriend's upset I cut my ex-best friend off for dating my ex. I've been with my boyfriend for a year. He's great and our relationship is great. My ex-best friend and I have known each other since middle school and used to be inseparable. For the past few months, she's been acting really distant and we haven't been hanging out as much, but I just thought she's busy with work and there is a quarantine. A week ago, I woke up to an Instagram post of my best friend kissing my ex-boyfriend, with the caption that he's made her the happiest woman alive. I was so shocked. This is my ex-boyfriend I was with for 3 years and my most current ex. She knows that he was verbally abusive and has beaten me twice. Second time I broke up with him. I know I should have left after the first time. I went crying to her dozens of times over him and she helped me realize I didn't deserve that treatment and gave me the courage to walk away. So, seeing her post him was just betrayal in the rawest form. I called her immediately and she said that after I broke up with him, he reached out to her to try to get back with me, but she helped him realize that he's toxic and shouldn't be in a relationship and basically became his therapist he relied on, and after a few months he changed, and they fell in love and she hopes I'll understand. She then asked me if I was still hosting her birthday party in a few weeks, and that she wants me and my ex to be cordial because we'll be around each other from now on. I hung up and proceeded to block her everywhere. I'm never planning to talk to her again. My boyfriend noticed I was in a funk and asked me what's wrong, and I told him. I thought he would understand that I'm more upset at my friend's betrayal, but he seems more focused on my ex and says that I must still have feelings for him if I was willing to cut my best friend off. I told him that I don't have feelings for my abuser, and I'm offended he would say that, but of course anyone would cut their best friend off if they dated an ex. I then saw he started liking his ex's pictures all from the past month, and when I asked him why, he went on a binge liking spree. He said that I have no room to talk since I still want my ex. He's very upset and hasn't replied to my messages all day. I have to deal with the betrayal of my best friend and now my boyfriend's pissed at me, and I feel like crap because I don't see how I'm wrong, but I don't want to play the victim. Now for the top advice. Your new boyfriend sucks. You're doing the best thing for yourself by cutting your best friend off. Your friend will end up the victim. It's perfectly okay to cut off someone who is dating your abuser. He abused you and you cried to her about it, only to find out your best friend is dating your abuser. It's traumatic and it's a betrayal. I think you should tell your boyfriend about what happened with your ex, if you haven't already. Then your boyfriend might be able to understand why you would cut her off. Since she's your best friend and dating your abuser, you would have to see your abuser anytime you see your best friend. That's unnecessarily reliving your traumas by seeing your abuser. Hopefully this helps and your boyfriend can see your point of view. If he doesn't understand, I would suggest reconsidering the future of this relationship. Especially since he did something petty to hurt you because he thinks you still have feelings for your ex. I think that alone is enough to reevaluate this relationship. So, speak to him. Explain your side and what your ex did to you that makes you want to go no contact in every way possible, which includes cutting off your best friend because she's dating him. It's more of you keeping your ex out of your life by blocking your best friend. If he still thinks you have feelings for your ex and doesn't apologize for his petty behavior of liking his ex's photos, then please think about whether this relationship should continue. Piggybacking this because it's the real correct answer. Your boyfriend obviously thinks you still want your ex. Explain to him that he was your abuser and him being near is traumatic. It has nothing to do with romantic feelings toward him. Hopefully he gets it and changes his tune. If he doesn't, then he's an idiot, but it's not fair to assume that until he's been presented with the truth. Holy crap, I break up with your boyfriend and never speak to him, or your ex-best friend ever again. The whole lot of them are heartless, toxic people. I am so sorry you're surrounded by all of this. Yep, the boyfriend sounds like a child. I would break it off with him ASAP. He sounds like a loser. My boyfriend cut off his friend for dating an ex because, like you said, it's a betrayal. I didn't feel any type of way about it because I would have done the same. And that's it for this video, guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this content.